Attention passionate Dallas, Cowboys. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Dallas, COWBOYSFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. What we've got brewing here is the kind of rumor that could send shockwaves through the entire NFC. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you know how important it is to stay ahead of the curve, to keep your eyes peeled for moves that could shape the next chapter of this team's storied history. So the buzz right now is about the Dallas Cowboys making a serious push to acquire T. Higgins from the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, I know. Sounds like a blockbuster, right? But hold on, because this isn't just a casual rumor. It's coming from some pretty reputable sources, including Adam Schefter himself, who reports that the Cowboys are offering a first-round pick in the 2026 draft and a second-rounder in 2027 in exchange for Higgins. And get this, the Bengals are in a rebuilding phase after finishing 6-11 in 2025, so they might be more inclined to listen, especially if the offers are compelling enough. According to a source close to the situation, the trade is considered almost inevitable, though nothing is confirmed just yet. That phrase alone is enough to get any Cowboys fan excited. Higgins, the tall, physical wide receiver with a knack for stretching defenses, would be an absolute game-changer for Dallas. Think about the mismatch nightmares he would create. This guy stands 6'4", weighs around 219 pounds, and runs a 4.54 40-yard dash. That size and speed combo, it's reminiscent of guys like Mike Williams, and it's exactly what Dallas needs to elevate their passing attack to a whole new level. Let's take a little deep dive into Higgins' profile, because this guy is no flash in the pan. Drafted in 2020 out of Clemson, Higgins has quickly established himself as one of the premier big-play receivers in the league. His college career was marked by clutch performances, including a pivotal role in Clemson's national championship run in 2018. Transitioning to the NFL, Higgins has amassed over 600 receiving yards and 38 touchdowns so far in his career, with his production steadily increasing each season. His average yards per catch sits at a solid 15-0, which tells you he's a big play threat on every route, capable of turning short gains into explosive plays. In the 2025 season, Higgins finished with 82 receptions for 150 yards and 9 touchdowns, despite battling through a shoulder injury that limited him to about 80% route participation after Week 4. That injury caused him to cut back on snaps, but even with those setbacks, Higgins proved to be a reliable target, especially in contested catch situations, winning over 54% of those battles, an elite number that showcases his ability to make plays in tight coverage. Plus, his yards after catch, YAC, of 6.6 per reception ranks in the top 9%, and he adds an EPA, expected points added, of plus 0.35 per target, which signals that he's a significant contributor to the offense whenever he's on the field. Looking back at his career trajectory, Higgins' consistency and ability to perform in clutch moments are noteworthy. His postseason performances have also been impressive, with key catches in playoff games that helped Cincinnati make deep runs. His ability to elevate his game under pressure is why many scouts and analysts see him as a perfect fit for a team aiming for Super Bowl glory. His chemistry with Joe Burrow, who was his college quarterback, could also be a massive bonus for Dallas, as the familiarity and timing could translate seamlessly into the Cowboys' offensive system. Now, why would Cincinnati consider trading Higgins? Well, it boils down to cap space and a bit of a rebuild. The Bengals have roughly $17 million in cap space for 2026 and are facing some concerns with Joe Burrow's injury history. Burrow threw just 66% completions in 2025, and with a need to shore up their porous defensive line, PFF grades for that unit are around 60. 3. The Bengals might be looking to clear some cap space and draft picks to rebuild that unit. They're also freeing up about $21 million in cap space, but they're risking their aerial attack, which averaged 210 yards per game in 2025. So trading Higgins could be part of a strategic move to get younger, more flexible assets, and maybe even start building around Joe Burrow differently. For the Cowboys, this move could be a real game changer. As of now, Dallas has about $25 million in cap space, which gives them some room to maneuver. Adding Higgins, a true vertical threat, would complement CD Lamb perfectly. Think about it, Lamb is already the primary target for Dak Prescott, but pairing him with a big, physical receiver like Higgins, who can win contested catches and stretch defenses vertically, would elevate Dallas's passing game to new heights. Prescott, with his 68% completion rate and an average of 7.6 yards per attempt, would have even more weapons to work with. And the synergy between those two receivers could produce some serious mismatches, especially on third downs and in deep shots. What's really exciting is how Higgins would fit into the Cowboys' scheme and their pursuit of a Super Bowl. The team has been building a balanced attack, but with a receiver of Higgins' caliber, they could finally become a truly vertical, explosive offense that defenses struggle to contain. Imagine the impact on the game plan: more deep routes, more contested catches, and a bigger emphasis on stretching the field. It's a move that could make the Cowboys' offense even more dynamic and unpredictable. And let's not forget, Higgins has been part of a system that has shown he can perform under pressure, making clutch catches and turning short gains into big plays. His profile and skill set could be exactly what Dallas needs to push over the edge in the playoffs and finally bring home that 6th Super Bowl trophy. Now, let's talk about the potential impact on the playoffs and the Super Bowl odds. If this trade goes through, it could boost the Cowboys' chances significantly. Bookmakers currently have Dallas with odds around +8-0, but that could drop to around +3-0 with Higgins in the fold. That's a huge difference, and it reflects how much of a game changer he could be. When you consider the recent playoff runs, the Cowboys have often fallen short due to a lack of offensive firepower in key moments. Adding Higgins could be the X factor that turns close games into decisive victories. Especially in high-pressure matchups, Higgins' ability to win contested catches, his 54% success rate against some of the best cornerbacks like Denzel Ward or Sauce Gardner, could be the difference maker in those tight playoff battles. And for the Bengals, this could be a way to pivot their rebuild, focusing on acquiring draft capital and cap relief to address their porous defense and injury-prone quarterback situation. Cincinnati has been trying to contend, but their offensive output, especially in the air, has been inconsistent. Moving Higgins might be a tough pill to swallow for Bengals fans, but if it means building a more balanced and sustainable roster, it could be a smart move in the long run. Still, the hesitation from some Bengals fans and analysts stems from the fact that Higgins is a proven big-play receiver, and trading him might leave a void that's hard to fill quickly. Back to the Cowboys, though, this potential trade aligns perfectly with their goal of not just competing, but dominating. The team has been steadily building around Dak Prescott, CD Lamb, and a solid defense. But adding a player like Higgins would give them that extra gear, that missing piece that elevates the entire offense. It's reminiscent of when the Cowboys paired Dez Bryant with Tony Romo, except Higgins is a more modern, versatile version with the ability to excel in multiple roles and situations. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, will the Bengals really let him go? Well, that's the big question. It's all about negotiations, leverage, and whether Cincinnati values draft picks and cap space more than keeping Higgins for the long haul. But given the current landscape and the reports, it seems like Dallas might have a real shot if they push hard enough. Plus, with the Bengals needing to rebuild and free up resources, they could see this as an opportunity to hit the reset button and start fresh, especially if they believe Higgins isn't part of their long-term plans. So in summary, this trade rumor is one to watch closely. It's a bold move for the Cowboys, a potential game changer that could dramatically boost their Super Bowl odds and solidify their offense as one of the most dangerous in the league. Higgins' skill set, size, and speed are exactly what Dallas needs to take that next step and finally bring a Super Bowl trophy back to AT&T Stadium. Whether it happens or not, the mere possibility is enough to get Cowboys fans excited, dreaming of that ultimate goal once again. The team's future looks bright, and with moves like these, it's clear they're aiming for nothing less than the top of the mountain. Now, let's further analyze the Dallas Cowboys' current roster and how adding Higgins could reshape their future. The Cowboys have always been a franchise known for their strong defense, especially with stars like Micah Parsons, Trevon Diggs, and Deron Bland leading the charge. Their defense ranked among the top in the league last season, especially in pass rush and turnovers. Parsons, a dynamic linebacker and edge rusher, registered 5 sacks in 2023, earning his second consecutive Defensive Player of the Year nomination. Trevon Diggs, after bouncing back from an ACL injury in 2022, re-established himself as one of the premier cornerbacks in the league, with 6 interceptions and a knack for making game-changing plays. However, the offensive side of the ball has been a mixed bag. Dak Prescott has shown flashes of brilliance, but has also faced criticism for inconsistency, especially in high-stakes moments. His completion percentage hovered around 68%, with an average of 76 yards per attempt and 23 touchdowns to 15 interceptions in 2025. CeeDee Lamb has been a bright spot, emerging as a true number 1 receiver, with 300 yards and 9 touchdowns. But the team has lacked that elite, reliable second or third receiver to take some pressure off Lamb and open up the field. Higgins could be that player, someone who draws double coverage, allowing Lamb and others to operate more freely. Furthermore, the Cowboys' offensive line has been steady but not dominant. They rank 12th in PFF grading, with Tyron Smith and Zach Martin anchoring the line, but the unit has shown vulnerability against top pass rushers. Adding a big target like Higgins would help Prescott in play-action schemes and deep shots, which Dallas has been trying to develop more consistently. Looking ahead, the Cowboys have a schedule that includes several key divisional matchups, including games against the Eagles and the Giants, both of whom are also vying for NFC supremacy. The NFC East has historically been one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL, with fierce rivalries and playoff implications every season. A move like acquiring Higgins could be the final piece to propel Dallas into the top tier of NFC contenders and secure a first-round bye in the playoffs. In terms of future expectations, if the trade materializes, the Cowboys' offensive output could see a significant spike. The potential for a 3-0-yard passer, Prescott, 200-plus-yard receiver, Lamb, and a 0-yard receiver, Higgins, would make Dallas one of the most potent passing attacks in the league. This trio, combined with a solid running game led by Tony Pollard and a versatile offensive scheme, could make the Cowboys' offense a nightmare for defenses. Deep analytics suggest that adding Higgins could improve Dallas's third-down conversion rates, which have been average at best. Currently, Dallas converts around 42% of third downs, but with an elite contested catch receiver like Higgins, that number could rise to 48% or higher. His ability to win in tight coverage and his size advantage would be invaluable during late-game situations, especially in the playoffs where every yard and every first down counts. Let's also consider the impact on team chemistry and locker room dynamics. Higgins' veteran presence and leadership qualities, he's only 25 but has shown maturity and professionalism, would be an asset for the young core of the Cowboys. His experience in playoff atmospheres with Cincinnati could help younger players like CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard handle the pressure of deep postseason runs. In terms of the draft capital involved, Dallas would be parting with a first-round pick in 2026 and a second-rounder in 2027. While some fans might worry about losing draft assets, the immediate impact Higgins could provide is arguably worth the cost. The NFL landscape has increasingly favored teams with star-studded rosters capable of making quick Super Bowl pushes, and Dallas seems to be in that tier if they make this move. From a historical perspective, the Cowboys have always been a franchise that prioritizes star talent. Their Super Bowl victories, particularly in the 1990s with players like Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, and Deion Sanders, have been built on acquiring and developing elite players. Higgins fits that mold perfectly, a player who can be the missing piece in a championship puzzle. Moreover, the strategic implications of this potential trade extend beyond just adding a receiver. It signals a mindset of boldness and willingness to take risks to achieve greatness. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones and general manager Will McClay have often shown a propensity for aggressive moves, whether through trades or free agency, to bolster their Super Bowl chances. Looking at the broader NFL context, other contenders like the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, and Philadelphia Eagles have all invested heavily in their passing games. For Dallas to keep pace, acquiring a premier receiver like Higgins would be a statement move, indicating their serious Super Bowl intentions. As for the fans and community, this potential move has generated excitement and debate. Some argue that losing a first-round pick is too costly, especially in a league where draft capital can be crucial for building long-term success. Others believe that winning now is the priority, and Higgins gives Dallas the best chance to do so. The debate echoes similar discussions throughout NFL history, When is it worth sacrificing future assets for immediate success? Finally, let's take a moment to consider the long-term outlook. If Dallas manages to secure Higgins, they will have to navigate cap management carefully, as his contract is likely to be lucrative, given his recent performance and potential. But with the team's current cap situation, strategic restructures and extensions could be used to accommodate him while maintaining flexibility for future signings. In conclusion, this trade rumor involving T. Higgins and the Dallas Cowboys is one of the most exciting developments in the NFL during this offseason. It embodies the Cowboys' relentless pursuit of excellence and their desire to return to Super Bowl glory. The addition of Higgins could reshape the offensive landscape, elevate Prescott's performance, and give Dallas a formidable edge in the NFC playoffs. Whether it happens or not, the mere possibility has fans dreaming of that elusive sixth Lombardi trophy once again, and the NFL landscape will be watching closely in the coming weeks. So Cowboys fans, stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep the faith. The future of your team could be about to change forever. And don't forget, your voice matters. Drop your comments, predictions, and hopes below. What do you think about this potential trade? Are you ready to see T. Higgins don the star at AT&T Stadium? I'll be back soon with more in-depth analysis, updates, and all the latest news. Until then, as always, GOCOWBOYS.